Hello, everyone. Welcome and thanks for joining us. In today's webinar, we'll be going over Specright's new product release 23.0 and diving into all the exciting new features and platform updates. To give a quick overview of our speakers today, I'm your host, Allison Del Grande, and I'm joined by our all-star product team, Dharma, Katie, and Nate, who will be walking you through the product release information. Now, as far as our agenda, we'll be going more in depth with our new features overview, jumping into Specright itself with a live demo, and then I'll be back to share the next steps for your team. And with that, I'll pass it off to Dharma to kick us off.
Thank you, Alison, for the introductions, and thank you everyone for joining the Release 23 webinar. In this release, we are launching a couple of new exciting features for all our users, and also based on all your feedback, we have enhanced a few of our existing features. So let's dive in and see how this release can help you make amazing things. Our first new feature is the change request feature. With this new feature, users can initiate change requests that include an approval process, offering a robust control mechanism for the record updates. In this initial release, we are introducing the ability for users to create change requests specifically for mass updating records. This comprehensive solution includes a streamlined approval process that ensures only authorized changes are made, enhancing control and data integrity in record modifications. This feature offers a multitude of benefits. First and foremost is efficiency. With the mass update capability, you can update multiple records simultaneously, saving time and efforts compared to manually editing each record individually. The integrated approval process adds an essential layer of accountability and control, preventing unauthorized changes and preserving data accuracy. Furthermore, mass updates reduce the risk of errors that can occur when manually making changes to multiple records, ensuring data integrity. It also it also allows for consistent updates across multiple records, ensuring that all necessary changes are applied uniformly. Our next exciting all new feature is FDA integration. This integration of FDA compliance data into Specright provides users with access to critical compliance information related to your supplier's facilities. This feature is aimed to enhance regulatory transparency and empower customers to make informed decisions regarding compliance and risk management. This initial integration encompasses data categories like inspection citations, inspection classifications, import refusals, and recalls. Now, you may be wondering how this will help you. So, let's see the key benefits. The first key benefit is the critical compliance information is going to be at your fingertips. I would say this is the most important benefit of this feature is that having the direct access to essential FDA compliance data. It's time to say goodbye to that time consuming searches and incomplete information. Everything you need regarding facilities from FDA will now be conveniently available within Specright. The second benefit is related to the supplier performance evaluation. So you can evaluate your supplier's performance by reviewing their compliance history and trends, as all the data will be available within the Specright. And you can use this information to make informed decisions about supplier partnerships. And lastly, we can have the customized alerts set up. So you can stay up to date effortlessly with customized alerts and notification related to your facilities and suppliers compliance status. We can also set thresholds and preferences to receive timely information. So overall, I would say with this feature, all your users can stay compliant and stay informed. And I'll be covering a high level demo of this later in the webinar, so stay tuned. Our next feature is basically an enhancement to the spec compare feature. So with this enhancement, now spec compare can offer the flexibility to compare both parent and child records, providing a comprehensive view of your specification data relationships. For instance, when using spec compare on formulas, you can now effortlessly compare not only the formulas themselves, but also their associated ingredients. This feature is designed to streamline your data analysis and decision making process, ensuring a deeper understanding of your specification data. One of the key benefits of this feature is comprehensive data analysis. This feature allows users to understand how parent records are connected to and affect child records, promoting informed decision making and ensuring that changes align with business goals. It also streamlines workflow, saving time and effort, and aids in maintaining data accuracy and consistency by quickly identifying discrepancies between related records. The next one is the email submission capability in our intelligent document processing feature. So this enhancement introduces a streamlined capability within the IDP feature, enabling users to conveniently submit certificate of analysis or certificate of insurance documents via email. With this new functionality, users can easily request suppliers and vendors to directly send their COA or COI documents to designated IDP email addresses. The system will then automatically extract and prepare all the relevant information from the email attachment, facilitating a seamless review process for assigned administrators. This feature offers several significant benefits to our users. First one is efficiency and time saving. With this feature, we can say goodbye to the tedious manual data entry and document processing, as our feature automates these tasks, allowing for a more efficient workflow. This streamlined process is especially beneficial in time sensitive situations. The another benefit is enhanced communication. With the ability to request suppliers and vendors to send COA or COI documents directly to designated email addresses, communication becomes seamless. This feature fosters better collaboration and responsiveness. With this, I will hand it over to Katie to cover the remaining features.
Thank you, Dharma. The first feature that I want to introduce is the Compass Product LCA. With the latest upgrade to the Compass LCA, we have launched the Product LCA capability. This allows us to send not only packaging bombs over to Compass, but we can also now send product bombs. So this means that any products like food and beverage, apparel, cosmetics, appliances, or small physical products, we can send all of those bills of materials over to Compass directly from Specright. This is really allowing you to control more of your sustainability strategy and analysis in Specright. We will do a quick demo of this feature later. So let's move on to our next item here, which is our unit of measure conversion enhancements. I am particularly excited to share that we have made two enhancements this release to unit of measure. The first is we have added conversion factor override capability, and we have also added custom unit conversions. What this is really allowing us to do is give our customers greater control over unit conversions. Previously, we limited unit conversions to 4 decimal places, and they were specified in our code. So now we're really allowing customers via their admins to specify exactly what they want conversion factors to be, so they can be more detailed than those 4 decimals previously. They can also, with the custom unit of measure, define any field, any unit of measure pairing that they want. So if you want to go from grams to a unit that we don't actually have specified for a conversion in the Specright software, we are now able to give you that custom unit, and you can define your own unit of measure and conversion factor for that custom unit. So we're really excited about that feature. And now I'll pass it off so we can learn about more features.
Thanks, Katie. Moving on. to our dynamic clone and supersede enhancements. In this release, we added the ability to add some fields and some different related lists in the modal component. So the modal being the pop-up that we see here on the right-hand side. We are able to now control different fields by different record types. The fields would be the same for both clone and supersede. So if we have a bottle, we can include things like material names, declared field, whereas those fields might not be on a corrugated layout, so we can omit them from this screen. Similar logic would apply to the related lists. So if there's certain related lists, if we're connecting bottles and caps together, you can have that related list as part of the modal, as part of the selection for bottles and caps, but it may be hidden for things like corrugated items where it doesn't apply. One of the additional things that we have within our auto numbering functionality is the ability to concatenate data points, to create a unique internal part ID. So previously we had to have some custom built functionality for that kind of possibility. So now we've brought this into the managed package, and so now in this screen we can see the fields that we may change that would be concatenated for a related list, or an internal part ID. Moving on, we're also starting the rollout of plan for every part, as well as some view components. So this is very common in manufacturing side of things. So some of our manufacturing customers utilize Specright for pack out instructions and things like that. And so we've began the process of bringing some of those components into our managed package. So with this release, we introduce a couple of new objects, an instructions object, where we're able to capture instructions as specifications. So think of something that you're writing, over and over and over again, put part in box, something like that. Those are now treated as specs, and those can be connected to many different finished goods. We've also included a PFEP connection object. So at the finished good level, there's a separate object. We can connect instructions and specifications in one to this finished good, so we can start to build out instructions for operators to follow if they want to. And then you'll notice the other component that we have, the screenshot, is of a visualization. So an operator, right, might be utilizing these instructions. Previously, we've had to either likely built out a PDF output component that would, an operator would be able to output and then either utilize, pass off to someone else. So now this brings the instructions into the system, so that the operators can be using Specright on a computer or a tablet, as opposed to having to utilize a piece of paper that may or may not be out of date. We have some exciting enhancements coming to this in 24 as well. Yeah. Moving on, we have our other enhancements. So we've added claims and allergens at the finished good level. So now we can track that information there. If you don't have formulas or ingredients in the system, you can take the same related list that we have on the finished good, on the formulas and ingredients, and you can add that directly to the finished goods. Additionally, sustainability year-over-year benchmarking reports, we have some updates to that. So in our reporting feature, we've taken sustainability tracking to the next level. Building on the user-friendly interface that we introduced previously, this enhancement allows users to add and customize sustainability fields, tailoring their reporting to their company's specific objectives and as well as industry requirements. With the flexibility to capture a broader range of sustainability data, organizations gain a more comprehensive view of their environmental and social impact, enabling data-driven decision-making and strategy development. So this wraps up our slides portion, and I will go ahead and jump into our live demo, and I will go ahead and kick things off with just a demonstration of the clone and supersede. We don't have the plan for every part demo in this webinar. We'll probably have it in the next release. So I'm already logged into the system here. I'm just going to go ahead and refresh, make sure that I am logged in. But here I have a bottle spec, and here I have a corrugated spec. And I just want to kind of show you what the UI looks like. So when we go ahead and go through a clone or a supersede. So we'll go ahead and hit dynamic clone on this one here. We'll notice we have some fields to fill out. We have some fields that aren't populated and things like that. So we have a good list here. I know that test standards isn't on the other one, so let's go ahead and just take a point, make it a point to look at that. We'll get rid of a few related lists just so we can see it. This will be bottle demo test. Let's go ahead and update this one to PET. We'll change our recycled content. We've upped it this time. This is a 350 bottle. We'll say that our brim fill is 380, and our width, we will bump it up to 65. And I'll go ahead and create our clone. Now I have our new spec here. I would need to update some other information. So we noticed, right, we had, what was it, material name, recycled content, declared fill, brim fill capacity, width, and some other things. Down here, I'm going to go ahead and hit cancel, navigate over to our RSC specification, our corrugated item, and I'm going to go ahead and just clone this one. So one of the first things I just wanted to kind of point out, we don't have test attributes or test results. I don't remember off the top of my head what we called it. So just kind of showing what things can or cannot look like. We have, fewer lists to choose from. We have some additional fields here. So we have RSC demo test. We'll keep it as an RSC. We will say that we're going to lightweight this one to B flute. We'll make it 11. We'll make it 8 inches, and we will, let's up it to 6.5. Glue inside, very common. And then we'll go ahead and leave that. So now we can create this. And we'll notice that our new one is populated with all of that information, right? So we had noticed that we had made this updated, glue inside. We updated it to B flute and things like that. And so that wraps up the demo for my side. I'm going to go ahead and pass this off.
All right, so now it is time to dig into our Compass product LCA demo. We'll start off here on our finished goods tab. You can see that I'm looking at a French press coffee maker. That is a 4-cup coffee maker right now. And if I come over here, I can see that there are parts in this product. I have a glass carafe, an exterior holder, filter screen, lid, all the necessary parts of a French press coffee maker. Now, previously we were only able to send the packaging LCA over to Compass, but with the new release we have that product LCA capability. So I'm going to start by clicking this Run Product LCA, and we are going to query for all of those different part items that are in the BOM here. Now, if you actually have a food or a food ingredient type product, then we can actually use ingredients instead of parts here and get your product LCA using that type of information instead of part like plastic and more part like material items here. So I'll just give this a quick name here. And once we click Export to Compass, we're going to go ahead and see that BOM fully filled out in there. All right, I don't have my pop-up settings allowed, so let's hop over to that other tab. And now over here on the Compass app, we can see that we do have that full bill of materials just as we had in Specright. We have our mass of each item, the number of units that go into the bill of materials for each item, and of course that roll-up weight. So let's go ahead and click Run Analysis and see what that looks like for our LCA. And just like that, we can see that we have all of our LCA impacts from fossil fuel use to global warming potential, as well as a couple of other metrics here that we can use to understand our products better and make better design decisions. And now we'll pass it off to the next demo.
Thank you, Katie. Now let's see the demo for the change request feature. So with this release, you will get an additional tab on the top, which is called change requests, from where we will initiate all our change requests. So if you want to create one, let's go ahead and click the new one, and we can give the name for our change request as, let's say, change request for mass update for release 23. And we can put the reason for the change. Let's say we are trying to find the material to reduce the cost, and the material has to be sustainable one. And for this release, we are focusing the change request for updating the records in bulk. So that's why the default record type is mass update. And this is where we can select which approval process we want to invoke when the change request is ready. And then the effective date is basically when we want to execute this change request when the approval process is completed. So now let's go ahead and save this change request. As you can see here, the change request is ready. And now what we have to do is we have to configure the change request, wherein we have to define like what we're gonna change as part of this change request. So let's, for this demo, consider a use case where we want to update the specification with the record type as folding carton, and we want to change the material so that we can reduce the cost and achieve the sustainability also. So now here, let's say I want a material which is bleached, and I want to change that material to a different material name. So let's say craft, which we'll configure in the next page. And let's say we want to do this for the records which were created, or let's say last modified in this month. So we can select the operator as greater than equal to from the 1st of October. So now you can go ahead and search for those records. So this is basically a search criteria where we will know that which records are actually going to get updated. So here we can see around 15 records which will get updated. So in the next screen, that this is where we're gonna define the new values. So we want to change our material from blaze to craft, and that's the field which we want to update as part of this change request. So I'll go ahead and select this one. We don't want to update the last modified date, so we don't want to select that. Now I'll go ahead and click save, and here once we click save on the pop-up, all the changes will be reflected over here. As you can see here, we want to do this change request, and my search criteria are going to be this. So my material last modified date, it needs to meet this criteria, and for the updating the new values, this is going to be my new value for the material. Now we have the change request ready. The status is in progress because we updated all the required values. Now I'll go ahead and submit this change request for approval. Please approve. And with this, now the whoever is the recipient, whoever is the approval, they will get the email notification. So let's say this is how they will receive the email notification to go ahead and approve the request. So approval can click on this particular link, and they can review all the details, and they can click approve. Once the change request is approved, the status will be changed. We can go ahead and click on this link. As we can see here, the status is now changed to approved, and now the change request is available, is ready to execute, but we have provided the effective date as 1st of October. So on 1st of October, the change request will automatically get executed. But let's say we want to execute this change request now. So we have provided one more functionality called execute now. You can just go ahead and click that button, and it's gonna go ahead and update the go ahead and execute the change request. And if you hit refresh, you can see the status will be changed to completed, and it will also update the request was when was the request completed. And now let's see, go to the specification object. As you can see here, we had like almost 15 records, and it's updated with the material name. So with this change request, we can see it's an automated process and we have the approvals in process. So you will have better control when we are making mass updates to any records into the system. With that, I'm going to move on to the next feature. That's our FDA integration. So for FDA integration, as I highlighted before, we have added 4 different data categories. So we are bringing recalls, inspection, class citations, classifications, and refusals data from FDA. And on FDA side, they refresh their data on Monday. So we can schedule our jobs on Monday at 12 o'clock. So all the facilities will have the latest data refreshed on Monday at 12 o'clock. So this is the configuration screen where we can define on which day we want to refresh the data from the FDA and some additional fields like uh, what could be what will be the earliest FDA data we want. So for now, this demo purpose, I have added January 1 to 2000 as the earliest date. So we will have all the data for all our facilities from this date. Now let's go ahead and see how it looks like on the actual supplier information page. So this is a sample supplier which I have created, the manufacturing facility. And each facility has their unique FEI number. FEI stands for FDA Establishment Identifier Number. So that's the unique identifier. And as you can see for that facility, we have automatically pulled all the FDA information into this particular record. So everything is available at your fingertips in the supplier record detail page itself. As you can see, there are a couple of citations which are reported for this particular facility. You can see the different classifications, the project areas, and also you can see the recalls information and some additional information on the recalls, like when this recall was initiated, what was the reason. And we can also configure the alerts whenever the job gets executed, and if we see new recalls for the given facility, we can proactively send the notifications. Yeah, that's the FDA integration, wherein we are pulling all the compliance related data from the FDA. Our next feature is the spec compare feature. So let's go to the spec compare. And as you may be familiar with this particular screen, and for this demo, let's say I want to compare the formula and the related associations. Let's say the formula is used in ingredients and the finished goods. So let's see how that works. So as you can see, when I selected the formula, there are related lists available, and that's why we got this particular option. So if I enable this option, you can see the formulas or the related associations here. So with the formula to ingredient connections and formula to finished good connections. So I can go ahead and select those uh, for the comparison. But before I do that, let me go ahead and fill in some additional details. I want to do the comparison and show everything. And I want to do the comparison for the parent records as formula. I'm gonna select up to like 4 records here. So I'll go ahead and select those. Version 3, version 4. Basically, I want to compare how this uh, formula has evolved over 4 revisions and how the related associations for the given uh, revisions. Let's go ahead and hit compare now. As you can see, for the parent record, we can see the differences highlighted in red. And if you scroll down, you can see we are pulling the formulas to ingredients and also the finished goods. So this will be an additional helpful information when you are comparing your specifications. And this number of fields are configurable, and the sort order is also configurable. So based on your use case, you can configure those fields. So this is our spec compare feature. And the last feature I want to give the demo for is the intelligent document feature, where we have provided a new option to submit the documents via the emails. Earlier, we had to go to the document analysis, create the new and upload the documents. But with this new feature, we can all the suppliers and vendors can submit the documents via the emails. So let's see how it's gonna look like. Uh, so let's say I'm the supplier and I want to submit the COI documents. So I can go ahead and create the basically what I have to do is send the email to designated email address. So you can have a designated email address for COA and COIs with the company domain name. So suppliers can go ahead and send all those documents to that given email ID. And once the documents are emailed, it will create the records into this particular document analysis object. As you can see for the demo, I have created these two records for the submitted documents. And what happens once the emails is received, we process all those attachments and we create these records here. And IDP goes ahead and extracts all the information from the PDF. And once it's available for the review, the emails are sent. And you can see this is how the admin for the given document will receive the email notification for the review. And if we open that particular document, we'll get more additional details like whether this particular record was created via the email or not, which is helpful for the audit purpose, and who had submitted that particular document. So this will be from one of your suppliers who is providing the COI documents. You can go ahead and click review, and here you can see all the information which is extracted via our intelligent document processing feature, which leverages the machine learning behind the scene. So as you can see from that email attachment, we have extracted all the information for that particular COI document. And it's available for you to review. And once you click submit, it will create the COI record into the system. So as you can see, all the functionality is completely streamlined. All we have to do is ask our suppliers and vendors to send the documents on the dedicated email address, and we'll get the email notification just to do the review and create the record. So it's gonna save so much time for all of you. So with that, we have covered all the features which are part of this 23 release, and we hope that these features will help you in your day-to-day activities and will help you make amazing things. And the next part which I want to cover is what's coming in our next release. So our next release will be around the December timeframe. That will be our last release for 2023 year. In that release, we are focusing on 4 different models. First is the core platform. On the core platform, we are adding 4 new features. On the spec compare, we are adding the dynamic form supports. And on the like item finder, we will have the enhanced support for the multi-select pick list. And in the revision management feature, we are adding another capability called on-demand connection updates. So it's a pretty interesting feature to look for. And the all new feature, it's going to be where used finder. So we'll have more details on that. So wait for the webinar 24 release 24 webinar to see what we are going to offer as part of this particular feature. And in the document management module, we are adding the PDF export functionality, wherein you can export all the record detail information in a PDF format. And on the IDP side, we will allow all our users to do the bulk upload. So we are planning to allow maximum 25 files to be uploaded at once. And on the procurement side, in this release, we added the FDA integration via the scheduled jobs. But in the next release, we are planning to make it on demand so we can refresh the data whenever we want it. And as always, we are adding more capabilities to our Specright network. With that, I'm going to hand it over to Alison to cover the next things. Thank you.
Thanks, Dharma, and thanks to Katie and Nate as well for a deep dive into our new product release. Now to jump into next steps on how you and your team can get started with these new features. Step 1 is to contact your sales rep. If you have any additional questions that didn't get answered here, feel free to send those their way. We also encourage you to share this video with your team so they can get acquainted and excited for these updates as well. And as always, we appreciate your feedback. Hop on over to G2 and share your thoughts, or if you're having any difficulty, reach out to our team and we would be happy to troubleshoot with you. And that's all we have today. Thanks again for tuning in, and we can't wait to see the product in action with your team.